Hello, viewers. I'm Vibhuti Jha. This is Jaipur Dialogue USA. Please like, subscribe, and support our channel, and share it with your friends and family. The more we expand, the better our reach would be. So, thank you very much for joining us and watching us. Today, I wanted to talk to you about agents of chaos. You know, we all want an orderly life, orderly time, peaceful existence. But as the saying goes, every hero needs a villain. People say you need war to have peace. Therefore, to have order, you need agents of chaos. Today, I want to talk about two specific organizations. Hamas, Hezbollah combined as one, and Hindenburg. There's a very odd comparison here. Hindenburg is not a terrorist organization. Hindenburg was established for creating market chaos in capitalistic societies. They chose a process called short selling as their tool to attack a target. As you may have perhaps known now, that Hindenburg is being closed down in just 7 years of its existence. I'm not going to go into the details of what the founder said, but if you read the entire story, and if you have followed Hindenburg, whose latest attack was on India and Adani, was based on one simple proposition that George Soros had said to destabilize Modi, it was essential to destabilize Adani. That was the purpose. And George Soros is on record saying that. I'm not making it up. Therefore, Hindenburg research was made to, or was a tool of chaos to engineer a demise of Indian stock market or hit hard on the Indian stock market or a belief and trust in the Indian corporate sector because Adani is among the largest. Adani and Ambani are the top two, the Indian corporate, which have a global name and a global presence with investments in many countries relating to infrastructure and other elements. So, when Adani was leading this, the Hindenburg research talked about Adani was doing all kinds of illegal activities, share trading, you name it, and you know it. We have talked about it at length. That's what is important here. When tools are being created to destabilize something, that's not okay. There is a chaos, there is a thing called a disaster that happens on basis of a natural disaster, and then there are disasters that are created. You append something, you dismantle something to do something else. Now, with Hindenburg failing in its objective to destabilize Adani and Indian markets and Indian confidence in Indian industries, Hindenburg is folding up. I believe that they realized that in the modern day time, when technology is able to carry news much faster than before, think about it. Today, we get to know things almost instantaneously, as a result of which Hindenburg could not possibly have carried out their short selling exercise. Though short selling is not illegal, but it's betting. It is definitely a chaotic situation in the world that betting agencies are one of the principal sponsors of many sporting teams on the jersey and other places. Betting goes on. You are aware of this fact that in India, cricket was betted upon every single play of the game. We know the impact of betting. We also know historically through our texts that it was the betting game that destroyed Yudhishthir and Pandav against the Kauravas, how the game was manipulated. And if you know betting in some extent, if you go to Vegas and casinos and everywhere, there is only one entity that actually wins, and that is the bank, the home, the owner. Everybody that is playing is the big loser. Think about it from that point of view. Hindenburg was one such entity that was designed to create chaos in capital markets, in stock markets, in the confidence in particular company that they wanted to attack. And I'm so glad it is done. I also hope that somewhere along the line, the upholders of capitalist philosophy will take freedom seriously And the freedom to create chaos is not actually a freedom. Freedom to short sell and destroy a company is not the right kind of freedom. Freedom to cause chaos in the marketplace, where hundreds of people and thousands of people lose their savings and 401k retirement plans, is not the right kind of freedom. So, Hindenburg research going down is a very welcome scenario. Maybe there will be somebody else will come up with some other name, but for the moment, Hindenburg is history. Let's talk about Hamas. You are aware of what Hamas did on October 7th, just a year and a half ago. Think about it from the perspective. They captured hostages and unleashed a violence and a vile act of rape and terror around the world in that area. And as a result of which, you had more than a year the battle royal is going on. Israel took a decision to dismantle them. It's not easy to dismantle something so very easily. So, peace conversations were happening, but none of them were meeting their desired effect. You know the reason why? Because Hamas has a charter. If any one of you want to know what is Hamas's gameplay, go and Google Hamas doctrine. The Hamas doctrine, we did a full show on this, as a matter of fact. In Hamas doctrine, you would notice that their preamble says destruction of the state of Israel and Jews is their preamble, is their principal goal. And one of the 32 clauses in that Hamas doctrine also says they will not admit and accept any negotiated settlement. And we talked about it. Then how can there be any negotiated settlement if their primary goal is not to accept a negotiated settlement? So, what are we negotiating really? So, this is important to revisit the entire scenario. So, for when President Trump won the election and he made an announcement, very great declaration, very strong declaration, that before his inauguration in a few days' time on January 20th, 2025, if the hostages are not released, all hell will break loose. That was a very ominous message conveyed to Hamas and the rest of the world. And President Trump did not mince his words. He's a man of action, he means business. And one of the things that we have talked about on a coffee at a coffee table or otherwise, that the one way to achieve peace instantaneously was Hamas releasing the hostages who were not at fault, nor had they committed any crime. So, as a result of which, releasing the hostages is the main game. But Hamas is the chosen agent of chaos in that region to fight against the Jews. They were the instrument created for that purpose. So, any negotiated settlement that can come about in that area will have to essentially convey that we completely dismantle, we totally what you call, the word is abrogation of the Hamas doctrine. Because if you do not abrogate the Hamas doctrine of 1987 or whatever time it was, you can't have an agreement. Remember Salman Rushdie? On his book, there was a fatwa issued. And a few years ago, he was attacked by somebody who was not even born when this fatwa was issued on him. He attacked because there was a fatwa. And he was fulfilling God's will to kill Salman Rushdie. This is what is important. The mindset, the theology, the doctrine. Unless the doctrine itself changes, you can't have peace. And Mr. Trump was on record saying this. Why are we going to solve their problem when they themselves have been fighting for thousands of years? Why don't they resolve their crisis themselves? And here is another problem. When they seek help from foreign countries to help them, then they brand them as foreign soldiers on their soil, which is not accepted per their doctrine. You see the issue, what is important? So, unless and until there is a doctrinaire change in Hamas or institutions like Hindenburg, which are created, man made, unless you have a doctrinaire change of stance, of theology, of practice, there will be no authentic peace. Chaos, agents of chaos, will continue to destabilize the world. And that's what is important. As aware citizens, we also know that natural disasters will happen, calamities will happen, somebody will be stupid, but we cannot institutionalize chaos. That's the message that I want to share with you. And whenever there is somebody who tries to institutionalize chaos through institutional framework, that has to be defeated. That's the freedom we have to dismantle organizations such as these. And therefore, for that, you got to stand for the truth. There is no other alternative. Thank you very much for watching today.